It is throughout history we see that miracles had been recorded by holy men, visionaries, and people like you and I. These are real-life stories and powerful reminders that God is at work and miracles exist in plain sight. This is a story of a miracle. This is a story of faith unseen, and the renewal of spirit and the inspired action to tell the story. This is the story of the streaming icon of the Theotokos at St. George's Orthodox Church in Buffalo, New York, told by Father Jason.
Well, the day was September 13th, 2017, which is in the Orthodox Church is the eve of the great feast of the universal exaltation of the precious and life-giving cross of our Lord. So following Vespers that evening on September 13th in 2017, we were done with service, and my daughter Alexandra, who's here with us, she said, "Daddy, Mary is weeping." And I immediately thought one of the parishioners in church was weeping. So I said, "Mary who?" And she pointed, "Jesus' mommy." And she pointed to the icon here on the royal doors, on the icon screen, and said, "Look." And so we immediately looked at the icon, which began streaming oil from the top. On the top of her veil, there's a cross. The Feast of the Cross. It began streaming from the cross. And as we believe that our life revolves around our Lord at the center of it, we also believe in the Orthodox Church that life itself begins at conception. And so on the royal doors, we will always see in every Orthodox church the top icon, which is the icon of the Feast of the Annunciation of the Most Holy Theotokos and Ever Virgin Mary, which we celebrate on March 25th. And you will always see Archangel Gabriel and the Mother of God. And the reason why we have that on the royal doors is because we believe when Archangel Gabriel told the message to the Most Holy Theotokos, she's going to bring forth our Lord. That's when our life began. And actually the hymn of the feast day begins, "Today is the beginning of our salvation." So just as we believe life begins at conception, we believe also our life began when the Mother of God said yes to the Mother of God. And we remember that at first, she never really accepted it. She was a little confused. How could this be? But then she said, "At your will, Lord, let it be done unto me." And so we look at this icon as a way that we, not only Orthodox Christians, but all Christians, must look into ourselves. And we may not fully understand God's message. We may not fully understand what is expected of us, but we have to have that faith and that trust that God will protect us and give us exactly to His glory. So we look at this as a way for all of us to not only believe, but also to live that belief. Even though we may not understand the message, God will help us understand the message through the Mother of God and through our Lord Jesus Christ. And we did, just to help people along, we did research. We called the iconographer who actually wrote these icons and painted these icons, and there's no oil in the paint, there's no oil in the wood, there's no oil anywhere, actually, and it's a miracle from God. And by the grace of God, we've actually had 3 miracles take place, 3 healings. One was my very own parishioner who I anointed him the day before he was going in for surgery to remove a tumor, which was the size of a grapefruit. And I anointed him, prayed with him. I gave oil to his wife, who anointed him before they went to the hospital the morning of the surgery. They went into the operating room, opened up, they couldn't find it. They couldn't find the grapefruit. Even though it was there in the morning during a CAT scan, they couldn't find it. So it's, again, all of us are on different levels. But as long as the Lord said, have faith like a mustard seed. We know how big a mustard seed is. It's really small. That's all the Lord asks, is to have that faith. And I think now, and especially in this day and age, I think all of us need some type of faith. Some type of faith, some type of belief in God, on whatever level we are able to believe in Him, to really help us. If we don't, I don't know how many people, all of us, have gotten through this pandemic without faith. Without faith. It's something that is there. We can't question why things happen, but all we can question is, where am I? Where am I with my faith? And we look to the miracle of the icon of the Mother of God to know that she is here with us. She is here with us, and the Lord is with us, and God is with us. And when we look at icons or miraculous events like such, it's God saying, I'm here. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Now we can question why. Why is this happening? Are we doing something wrong? Should we be doing more? Well, first and foremost, whenever anything happens in our lives, our immediate reaction as a human being is why? Why this? Why me? What happened? What caused this? And immediately we have to take that and put our faith into action. So, okay, this happened. Now let's pray on it and ask God to open up our hearts. We may never get a definite answer, but we'll get an answer with our hearts. And when this happened on that eve of the feast, going on 4 years ago, it reminds us that God always works when He feels it's best for us to receive the message. And He always places it on times that are important in our life. Eve of the Feast of the Cross, and where did the oil start streaming from? The cross on her veil. So there's always a connection. God will always connect us to Him and with our Lord and the church, as long as we open up our hearts to Him. And not see it with our eyes, but see it with our hearts. And listen to His voice. So it's very, very important that this particular miracle and this message that took place, we must share that. We must live that. And it's also when he revealed this to a child, it reminds us that we must receive Him as a child as well, pure, innocent. With as we get older, we get sometimes too involved in the world. So by this revealing to a child reminds us that, wait a minute, the Lord said, receive it as a child, and you'll be granted the kingdom of heaven, being pure and innocent. So we must do the same. So to have it received as a child, that shows where Alex's faith is at, and that shows that our Lord is doing the work through children. And we must look at our children as not only gifts of God, but also to help strengthen us in our faith.
These are the moments witnessing such miraculous events that are so unforgettable. It turns the belief of believing into the belief of knowing, and sharing its story holds greater significance because the life of the faithful can be so full of many ups and downs and trials and tribulations. But when a miracle's witnessed, the expansion of faith can bloom something so unexpected, so sweet, so magical, and so catapulting that it can sprout a new energy, a revival of spirit that can humble one's spirit and ascend them to greater connection to God, nature, and the greater connection to oneself. This is the story of the streaming icon at St. George's Church in Buffalo, New York.